Welcome, Kingdom Sports. We are here. This is your host, C. Michael Stanley, broadcasting live from Kingdom Speaks Network, owned and operated by my lovely wife, Prophetess Tawansa Stanley. NBA semifinals is on and popping. We got the Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals. We'll do a little WNBA. Matter of fact, let's start with the WNBA. Let's see what's going on in the standings. See what's happening. Now, I did come across something today. I saw somebody do an article about Caitlin Clark, about she possibly may need to leave the Fever. So I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that. They feel like they're not handling her injuries like they should. So definitely want to get you guys some feedback. Do you think Caitlin Clark should leave the Fever? We got a triple header tonight on Ion for the WNBA. We got the Wings against the Dream. We got the Valkyries against the Fever, the aforementioned Fever. And we got the Sun versus the Storm tonight. So we got a lot of big name players playing on tonight. Paige Buchers, AZ Fudd, Alicia Gray, Angel Reese. We got Caitlin Clark. We got Flau'jae Johnson. We got Alyssa Thomas. So we got some big time players that's on television tonight. That's going to be on Ion. And I believe Amazon Prime usually has the Ion games as well. Don't quote me on that, but I believe Amazon Prime shows as well because two of the games both start at 7:30. The Dallas Atlanta game and the Golden State Indiana game, and then Connecticut and Seattle. I almost said UConn. That lets you know college women's basketball is still, I think it's still bigger than the WNBA right now. The WNBA is growing and growing, but we got a lot of big name players tonight. Dallas is 3-2 right now. Atlanta's 2-1. We got Golden State 3-1 and Indiana 3-2, and then Connecticut and Seattle. They both are struggling out the gate. They both have only won one game. So someone tonight is going to still only have one game won, and somebody's going to get their second victory on tonight in that matchup. So full standings. We got the Las Vegas Aces, the reigning champs, number one right now at 4-1. We got Golden State at 3-1, expansion team last year, the first expansion team in WNBA history to make the playoffs their first year. So they started their second year really well. We got Atlanta Dream at 2-1 and Dallas Wings at 3-2. So the winner of that game tonight will have a stronghold on at least third place, possibly second place, depending on what happened with Golden State Indiana game. Chicago Sky is 3-2. Minnesota Lynx is 3-2. Indiana is 3-2. So we got a lot of positions can change on tonight. I know it's early in the season, but I still like to kind of keep an eye on this as we progress. The Mystics are at 9, and I believe 8 teams will make the playoffs. So we got the Fever and the Liberty at the 7 to 8 spot right now. The Mystics are at 9. Toronto Temple, a brand new team, is at 10. Los Angeles Sparks 2-3, Portland Fire 2-3, another new team, Phoenix Mercury 2-4, Seattle again struggling at 1-4, and Connecticut Sun struggling at 1-5. So we're going to start seeing a lot more games as the NBA is winding up and the WNBA is picking up. So we'll start seeing a lot of their games on national TV and things of that nature. So I wanted to check real quick before we get into the NBA. I wanted to check real quick on their schedule for Memorial Day for the WNBA. Again, some people saying Caitlin Clark needs to lead the Fever. What do you guys think? Oh man, something wild hit my mind. Atlanta Dream trading for and teaming her up with her nemesis, Angel Reese. They played with the Olympics together, and they played in an All-Star game together. They actually did well together, so that would be interesting to see. So again, all the games tonight on Ion. Tomorrow, we got a CBS with a game. That's big. It's going to be the Minnesota Lynx, Chicago Sky. Again, both of those teams are 3-2 at 1 p.m. And then Saturday night, 8 p.m., we got the Los Angeles Sparks against the Las Vegas Aces on CBS. Also streaming on Paramount Plus. Sunday, we got an NBC game. We got an NBC game on Sunday. We got the Dallas Wings at 3:30 against the New York Liberty. That should be a good game. Then on Monday, I thought we would have some national televised games. We do have one at 8 p.m. On Peacock. That's going to be Portland Fire and New York Liberty. All right, not the games I really wanted to see, but hey, it's good. They're still getting that exposure. All right, let's look into these conference finals. So we got the Western Conference Finals. This is going to be a slugfest. We got the Spurs against OKC. We know the Spurs handled OKC 4-1 in the regular season. The series is now tied 1-1. And I'm going to go with the upset pick here with the Spurs in 6. I'm going Spurs in 6. I believe they're going to split these 2 games at home again. And then I believe the Spurs will win 5 and 6. However, I wouldn't be surprised if the Spurs win both games at home, lose game 5, then close it out at 6. But I got the Spurs in 6. So either of those scenarios is what I'm seeing. But it's been a great series. Wembanyama really had an awesome game 1. SGA turned around and had an awesome game 2. I did see something. I got to be biased because I'm a Wemby fan. I'm a big fan. I've always been a fan of the big man. Wemby may be turned into one of the best big men ever. One of the best players ever. I'm a big fan of Wemby. He's much better than I thought he was going to be and quicker. And so I'm going for the Spurs. SGA, never really been a big fan of SGA. And something I saw earlier today on one of the sports shows, they were talking about how much he falls. They try to sell those calls, and it's not always pleasant to watch. And I got to agree. Like, man, bro, get up. Stop there. Play ball. Play ball. You don't have to try to sell those calls like that. Get up, play ball, play through the contact, and keep it pushing. You don't have to try to sell the calls like that. You're a great player. You got great skills. And it gets horrendous to watch you on the floor all the time. I know Wemby can hit the floor sometimes, but he's trying to block shots. Usually when he hits the floor, and then usually people try to throw Wemby on the floor because they can't do nothing else with him. But actually, I seen this guy just fall after jumpers. You know, he's not even driving to the hole against the big guy. He's just falling after jumpers. Yeah, that just looks kind of rough, SGA. I got to be real with you. But I respect your game. Over 50% shooting. One of the only guards to do that, you and MJ. And not only were you and MJ the only guards to do that for a season, you actually got 55% this year. So that's awesome. Some of that falling and flopping, take it out your game, SGA. You get more fans. Take that out your game. Stop all that flopping. You already get enough calls. You get enough calls, you have to flop all over the floor like that. It looks bad. You got the floor slippery for the other player. Stop it. You cause injuries, SGA. Get up off that floor, SGA. Stop doing that. But again, I'm a Wemby fan. Blessings. My lovely wife is here. Blessings to Warren Stanley. But Wemby, man, I love what he's doing. 22 years old. He has that killer instinct already. He has a desire to win. He's upset when he loses. There's so much he can do on a basketball court. It's just with him, it's finding when to do what at what time. Should I hit my 3? Should I go in the post? Who's guarding me? How are they playing me? So that's going to come with time. But I love that 3 he took in game 1 to put that game into overtime, I believe it was. He pulled that shot like he was Steph Curry. And it was amazing. He shot it with confidence. He had over 20 rebounds, over 40 points. That's awesome to see from your big man. 40-20, couple blocks, that's dominant. That's dominant. Love to see it. Now on the east side, Eastern Conference, it's not competitive. It's not competitive. Oh, in my bet, I actually thought the Timberwolves were going to beat the Spurs, and I picked the Timberwolves to beat the Thunder. So the Spurs did beat the Timberwolves, and I was picking the Spurs over the Thunder. On the east side, I thought Detroit was going to beat the Cavs because I felt like Detroit would have gave New York a better series because they, handed them their lunch during the regular season. But the Cavs pulled it off, and now we see the Cavs getting slaughtered by New York. They had a big lead in the game 1, coughed it up, got beat last night pretty handily. I say Knicks in 5. Knicks in 5. The New York fans, though, they were saying Knicks in 4 last night, and I wouldn't be surprised. The coach is making an excuse for James Harden. James Harden, you got a man up. You've never been a good defender. Own it. You've never been a good defender, but at least try. At least try, Harden. And then I heard this coach take up for him, talking about if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have been out the first round. I understand that. But you made it out the second round in spite of him. He played horrible in game 6 and played horrible in game 7. Y'all won that series against Detroit in spite of James Harden. He might have helped you in the first round, but the second round is the same old James Harden, and right now we're seeing the same old James Harden just not showing up. When you have more turnovers and field goals as the point guard, you're not helping your team succeed. You've been in the game too long. I hear people talking about you, but it's real. It's real, James Harden. And I don't appreciate your coach sugarcoating things with you. Your coach need to be a man with you and let you know, hey, you gotta do better. You gotta do better. I'm gonna have to put Schroeder in. It's keeping it real. It's keeping it real. I didn't like the trade. I feel like Darius Garland was a younger point guard. He's smaller, so I know James Harden is a bigger size. I think that's why they went. They wanted a bigger guard. But I didn't like the trade. I like Garland. I like Mitchell. I like Allen. I like Mobley. I feel like they had a young core. You just had to take some time with them and make sure they stay together and develop. I think that happens in the NBA so much. We break up young teams too much, too quick. Too much and too quick. The reason the Spurs became a dynasty is because they kept that core together. Draymond, Clay, and Steph. Mark Jackson coached them up, and they felt like they needed a championship coach, and they brought in Steve Kerr. He was able to do what he did. I'm an Orlando Magic fan. I feel like we do this often. We break up our young core too quickly, but hopefully we won't do this. I think we have a good young core, and Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, and Suggs. Keep them guys together. Let's get a championship pedigree coach in Orlando, and let's make something happen. Keep these teams together. OKC, they kept these boys together. You try to go after a more dynamic player, a veteran, so-called veteran player, you feel like it's going to do better, and they don't. They don't. It doesn't work. Keep your team together, develop your team, and then see what happens. Then see what happens. Let them gel. Give them some time to gel. But I got New York in 5. New York in 5, Spurs in 6, rematch of 1999. Wow. I graduated high school in 1999. Spurs against the Knicks. And we're going to have a good time. So those in the Central Florida area, I'm going to be hosting a watch party for the NBA Finals Game 5. I believe it's on June 13th. Check my page for the flyer. But we're going to be at Duke's in Winter Haven. First 50 wings on me. Whatever you want to add to it, do that. And we're going to have a good time. Food, fellowship, NBA Finals Game 5. And we got to pray it go 5. We don't want it to be a sweep in the finals. So we got to pray at least to go 5. We can have a good game and possibly even crown a winner. If gentlemen sweep in 5, we can crown a winner, celebrate whoever wins that night, whatever it may be. But I'll be hosting a watch party, NBA Finals Game 5, coming up next month. So y'all get ready for that. We're about 3 weeks away from that. All right. So, again, Spurs in 6 with upset pick over the reigning champions, and Knicks in 5. Knicks in 5. And we'll start getting into more WNBA stuff, and football is about 90-some days away, college football. So we may take a little break. We'll see. Because WNBA be going on. I might come back and do more WNBA talk and then maybe pick up some baseball. Oh, speaking of other sports, hockey. Man, great games last night. Golden Knights came through. Canadians came through. Upset of the Avalanche at home. Then the Canadians upset the Hurricanes at home. Great game. So both of those series may go 6, possibly 7. So both of those series should be good in hockey. Not like basketball, where I think one will be good, one is not. Both of those series should be good in hockey. And the Stanley Cup Finals will be, they run neck and neck with the NBA Finals. So we'll be talking about hockey as well. All right? That's our time for the day. You guys be blessed. Kingdom Sports is out.